Here we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good. I'm awesome as always because we get to talk football, baby. This is the final game of the season. It is Super Bowl 58 preview. Who's going to win this contest? I'm going to dive into some points where it picks, some injuries, keys to victory. Who's going to win this game? Can Patrick Mahomes do the dynasty in what they're trying to accomplish and how they're trying to do it? Facing Brock Purdy, facing Kyle Shanahan and these 49ers. Going to be very interesting. No kidding about that. And I mean, okay, we're talking points for picks. Like I said, divisional round, I was trash, man. I was 0-4 on my spread. I don't think I've ever gone 0-4 in a playoff, in anything when I'm betting on points for it. First time for everything, I guess. But I did follow it up on championship weekend very well. 2-0, got my record above the 53% mark for the season on the point spread pick, so it is good in that respect also. But let's talk these Kansas City Chiefs taking on these San Francisco 49ers, rank 1 versus rank 3. The spread as of today is a 1.5 in favor of the San Francisco 49ers. The over-under is sitting at 47.5. It's interesting. In Vegas is the contest. Obviously, everybody knows this at this point because the gambling dollars are running thick right now. We're seeing everyone gambling. But it's an interesting game. Interesting spread. The fact that the 49ers are favored in this contest is interesting. I mean, the totals, we could see 47. We could see go way above 50. At this point, I wouldn't hate taking the over based on the fact that we could see a lot of points on the board. But we could also see a lot of running in this contest to try to control the clock. Let's start with these injuries. Last meeting we saw for these 49ers and the Chiefs, Kansas City won 44-23 back in 2022. So, I mean, it is important to understand that the Chiefs have, at least had the hand in respect of beating these 49ers, where Kyle Shanahan, this is the rematch Super Bowl, obviously, and the 49ers in that first Super Bowl match did have the upper hand. This 2022 matchup was in the regular season. And, I mean, at this point, injuries are not a huge deal, okay? Both teams are relatively healthy. I mean, outside of Tooney and Menahu, I probably pronounced the name right, wrong, ACL, and then the pectoral strain for Tooney, he is likely going to sit in this contest from what I'm seeing at this point. Obviously, Amena, who they did rule out with the ACL injury, a big loss for them. There was some optimism that a Jerick McKinnon might come back from the sports hernia, but it is at this point doubtful that he is going to suit up in this contest, so it's going to be a lot of Isaiah Pacheco running the football. Sky Moore on the knee IR return is a questionable as well. They do require somebody to at least come in and help aid this wide receiver core, but I mean, the Chiefs have been winning without Tony, without Sky Moore, without a Jerick McKinnon. So, I mean, are they worse for wear? Probably not. They can always figure out their ways to do it. I mean, outside of that 49ers injury, Thomas should be, good to go. He's undisclosed on the questionable. Burks undisclosed on the questionable. It looks like it was a vet kind of, walk-through day for a lot of these guys. I mean, George Kittle did pop up again on the toe with a questionable. There's no way he's sitting in this contest. And then Armstead, foot and knee on the questionable as well. There is no way these guys are missing this contest. Unfortunately, Tooney for these Chiefs, like I said, it's a big loss for them as these 49ers will come at them with Bosa and Young, and they're going to try to come after Patrick Mahomes quite a bit. So losing Tooney is going to be very paramount. We did also see the left tackle or right tackle, his mom passed away as well, so he's playing with a heavy heart, and that's a tough one for these Chiefs also. But I mean, injury report is not drastically bad for either team at this point, as they do have, they have obviously needs on the injury report, but I mean, it's not something that we can actually say is going to really truly impact this game at this point. Tooney's probably the biggest one in this contest when it comes to injury reports. Keys to victory for these Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the big one, man. Set up the run with Pacheco and get that play-action pass going. They got to ride them some Pacheco, and they got to do it extremely well. They've been doing it all season long, and then Patrick Mahomes can at least try to find some, outlets to his wide receivers. MVS got to have, the important catches and not drop the passes. We got to see somebody else step up in this offense. Will Watson be that guy? We shall see. I mean, will Tony play in this contest and be that X factor? That's why I'm putting it down here as well. We saw it last time in the Super Bowl. We could see it again. Last year, we saw Tony have a big day, have a big role, being schemed up, scoring touchdowns. Could he be that X factor again? Are they playing the cards to say, he's not healthy, he's keeping him out of practice? Tony fires back and says, I'm not even injured, don't even know why they have me off on the injury report. But this is interesting. So if Tony does suit up in this contest, which I fully expect him to do, he could have a role, decent plays coming scripted toward him, especially in the red zone, especially on, gadget type of plays where he could find find his way into the end zone. I will not be surprised whatsoever if Kadarius Toney is utilized in that facet once again, but you got to set up the run to set up that play action pass with Isaiah Pacheco. There is opportunity that they should be able to find ways to run, but this 49ers defense is very good versus the run. They are more susceptible through the air, so we shall see how they do manufacture ways to play defense, but you got to keep them honest on this 49ers defense and run the damn ball. Hopefully, Pacheco's going to be able to find some holes for you Kansas City Chief fans, man. Recreate the run with a short pass and screen pass. I'm saying this because even though you're going to try to run the football, it's going to be very difficult to find lanes on this 49ers team. No question about that. With Fred Warner and Greenlaw plugging up the holes, it's going to be tough sledding for Isaiah to run free. So you're going to have to recreate it, man. Whether it's Travis Kelce short outs, whether it is Sky Moore if he does return, whether it is, Kadarius Toney with some yak ability, we will see. They got to figure out ways to at least keep this defense honest to some point where they're not pinching in the box all the time, and do not rush a Patrick Mahomes to the levels, to keep him running the football as well. And obviously, you got to get your best player involved. Travis Kelce, his 8 to 10 targets is an absolute must in this contest. Force feed this man the ball on the regular, just like they did versus the Baltimore Ravens. And I mean, it seems that Travis Kelce saved his best football for these playoffs because he's been playing like vintage Travis Kelce, and all you Swiftie fans, you guys know what you're talking about when it comes to Travis Kelce. On the other side, limit Christian McCaffrey on the defensive side. I mean, Spags has been an absolute dynamo calling plays on the defensive side for this Chiefs team. Such a good secondary. They lock down everybody on defense. And I mean, at this point, you got to limit Christian McCaffrey. He's going to have a big role in this game. And without a man who that they're going to try to run the football a lot. They're going to try to get the ball in CMC's hand a lot because CMC's been dying to play in this Super Bowl. You know that it's easier said than done, obviously, on the defensive side. But, I mean, if you can keep him under 100 total yards, I think that's an absolute big win. And keeping him out of the end zone schemed up for CMC is definitely going to be there. So, I mean, limit him as much as you possibly can. Make others beat you outside of a CMC. Blitz, blitz, and blitz. Why do I say that? Because you got to pressure Brock Purdy into making mistakes. We've seen it on numerous occasions where a Brock Purdy who is unsettled in the pocket will turn the football over, will have some errant throws. But, I mean, Brock has also shown the fact that he can be mobile. So if he actually keeps care of that football, it's going to be very tough to beat these 49ers. No question, but you got to blitz him like a madman, and Spags is not afraid to blitz the quarterback, especially on third downs. He will come after a young Brock Purdy, hoping he's going to make some mistakes and don't allow the chunk yards to a Debo. So this is why the interesting aspect where we know Kyle Shanahan's going to, at least scheme up some good jet sweeps, some short outs, some screen passes to a Debo, try to get the ball in his hand so that he can make some big plays with the yak ability. And I mean, that could actually be into the, detriment of the blitz, where they will see and try to, negate Spags' blitzing ability with the short pass with a Debo, and hopefully he can get into the open field and roam free with some yak yardage. So that's what I'm saying. Do not allow Debo to get you those chunk yards, especially if you're doing a good job on Christian McCaffrey. You almost do want George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk to be the focal points of this offense if you are Spags and this defense. Even though Kittle and Ayuk are ballers in their own right, you almost want those guys to be the focal point rather than CMC and a Debo Samuel. When it comes to keys to victory for these 49ers, it is interesting, okay? And they got to run the football. We know what they're predicated upon offensively. It is Christian McCaffrey, okay? And then everything works off of what CMC does. Use CMC all game long in the pass, in the run. Get Brock Purdy extremely settled early. That's how you got to do this. Get him very comfortable, especially against his defense that will come after him. Create ways to make Purdy comfortable in the pocket is absolutely paramount as well. You got to make him comfortable early on so that he gets into that mode, he gets into that zone. Even if he does throw an interception here or there, we saw how they came back versus the Detroit Lions. So we did see some, revelation to the fact that he can bring this team back a little bit. Brock has been playing extremely well so far in the playoffs, so I do expect him to have, happy feet early on, so get him the easy passes early, use CMC quite a bit, get him very comfortable in that pocket so he's not feeling like happy feet and throwing errant passes. Debo and Kittle have to have the bigger roles, like I'm saying, to go against this Chiefs defense. It is important for them. They need the secondary pieces to come out. Obviously, we say secondary piece. Ayuk is the wide receiver one clearly on this offense when it comes to statistical achievement through the air, where Debo is that Swiss Army knife utilized all over the field, but George Kittle could have a monster day, and I think that it will be important for him to be included massively. So the toe on the injury report does suggest, potential. He's playing hurt, but he's going to have a big game. Kittle and Ayuk are going to have very good contests, no mistakes, no issues. And then if Debo and CMC can actually run and make some big plays, big chunk yards, 49ers offense should be able to make some damage on this Chiefs defense. Do not turn the ball over and give Mahomes more plays and opportunities. We know what Mahomes can do, man. He can score with 7 to 13 seconds, for God's sakes. And, he's going to be able to move the football quite a bit, especially against this secondary in San Francisco. There is ample opportunity for them to actually scheme up and get Travis Kelce, MVS, and other wide receivers open. Like I said, if Kadarius Toney is playing, that's a big ups for this game because they should be able to script it in a sense where they will be able to attack this defense quite a bit. But you do not want to give Patrick Mahomes more football, where we could see, the 47.5 point total over-under. We could see that go down as they control the football. San Francisco may want to play that game. Something like the Buffalo Bills did. Play a little bit more clock control. Don't give Mahomes the ball. Keep Mahomes on the sideline. Keep him cold, where the Ravens weren't able to do that against Patrick Mahomes. We could see the 49ers absolutely take that into their account. When it comes to what they should do on the defensive side, don't allow Patrick Mahomes to escape from the pocket. Massive. That's what you have to not do. Play that contain rush just a little bit, because we know Mahomes is mobile enough that he will extend plays. We know he will extend plays from the pocket and try to find wide receivers down the field. Find Travis Kelce down the field. This is what he does. It's backyard football. You start pressuring him, he's going to find that hole. Kind of do that little contain rush where you are getting your hands up and batting footballs down as well. At least swing the game that way with 2 or 3 possessions, and you could have a very good deal of victory here for these 49ers. Do not allow Patrick Mahomes to escape from the pocket. Limit Pacheco to less than 80 yards total, and I think that's a big key to this contest as well. You make them somewhat one-dimensional, and they will be able to at least compete versus Kansas City Chiefs. The 49ers defense has not played well in these playoffs. Let's not kid ourselves, but this is a good opportunity for them to right the ship and understand what scheme they need to play, and it's all predicated upon Patrick Mahomes stopping Mahomes. If Pacheco beats you, that's a big problem as well, because that play-action pass will start to work, and you will have issues covering these wide receivers and Travis Kelce down the field. So you got to stop Pacheco to under 80 yards total, and I think this is a big plus for this defense. Force others to beat you, so it is cover up Travis Kelce with triple teams and let MVS beat you. This is basically what you got to do. If it is Kadarius Toney, now we have a different, topic to discuss. So we will see if he is going to suit up in this contest, because if he does, I do believe the role will be there for X Factor appeal. But you got to cover Travis Kelce. If he gets his 10 targets, you want to see 3 catches, 4 catches maximum, no red zone shots, and no red zone TDs. But it is easier said than done. Kelce is playing like a man possessed right now as well. And I'm telling y'all, I'm okay. If MVS is going to make the catches that it looks like Jerry Rice down the field, then you deserve to lose. That's just how it has to be. You got to make other guys beat you in this contest with MVS, with Watson, etc. We know Mahomes will find them, but will they catch the ball with high levels of consistency? That is the question marks that we do see. So others need to beat you other than Pacheco and Kelce, and I think you could do fairly well. Good season statistically for all of these guys. Once again, Mahomes probably one of his worst seasons statistically in a long time. 27 TDs to 14 interceptions, just over 4,000 yards for Brock Purdy. Had a great season. No question why he's in the MVP race. 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 picks. CMC is that guy, man. 1,400 rushing yards, added way more in the receiving game. We see Rashee Rice. He is being that guy also in this pass game that is leaned upon as the wide receiver one. He should have a very good day as well versus the secondary that is beatable. Well, we should see Ward covering a lot of Rice in this contest, so maybe that takes it away to some degree as well. Watson's got to be a playmaker. If Sky Moore does come back, he's got to make some plays. And like I said, keep saying Kadarius Toney's got to be some X-Factor appeal in here as well. Travis Kelce, we know what he is. Debo, Ayuk, George Kittle, we see the statistics that pile up for these 49ers and how they do operate on the field, and they are a very good squad. This might be the best opportunity for Kyle Shanahan, no kidding, to win his first Super Bowl, as he's back to the Super Bowl once again. So for the rematch, we're seeing it is 49ers favored by 1.5. Everything keys to victory. Injuries, I'm taking the 49ers, taking the spread at minus 1.5. I think it is time for Mahomes to lose again. and not have this dynasty put over it. But I mean, it's going to be a very good contest, very good show. No kidding about that. I do like what these 49ers do bring. They've dealt with some adversity in these playoffs. They've come back and won contests. If they could just iron out one more game, man, 4 more quarters of very good defense, it's going to make it very tough on Patrick Mahomes. They don't have a Tyreek Hill this time, so it's going to be interesting how they do attack this 49ers defense, which is very good, and I think they're going to give a lot of pressure to a Patrick Mahomes, no kidding. But there you have it. That is Super Bowl 58 preview. Who's going to be the champion? I'm rolling with these 49ers this year, even though we could see Patrick Mahomes win. It's not out of the question. I like the 49ers team this year. I think they're going to come out with their A game. I think that Kyle Shanahan has been here more than enough to understand the importance of having no mistakes in his play calls, and we'll see who actually comes out on top. But it's going to be a very good show, so definitely enjoy every ounce of it, because we won't have any football for quite some time after this contest. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.